With this, you can't help but want to take a vacation or at least go have a really delicious summer treat. I know I want both. It all started out with a drawing that came from a thumbnail. I picked Prismacolor color pencils to use on pastel paper, and away I went. And the lemon, I love doing the rind. It's kind of really satisfying. And as you can see, I use white colored pencils a lot. It's time to replace. And for this, usually I pick a complementary color to do the shadows and the shading and creating the roundness and the contouring. But for this, I went with a hue of gray to match the tones that I picked from the paper. This is incredibly sped up. Over a 5 to 7 day period that I illustrated this. And I tried to capture every moment, every phase, but this is not at all of the work that I put into it. It's just little bits and pieces, like showing you how to color the skin and then to color the inside part of it. And let me tell you, that white is an excellent tool for highlights and mimicking like shininess and liquid and moisture, especially with this cup here. It's always a matter of trial and error. No matter how much you know your product or your tool or your utensil, you always want to like test the colors. Always color swatch. Everything I do, I color swatch. No matter how much I think I know a color, I don't just dive right in recklessly. And these bubbles were really kind of interesting and fun to illustrate. It was a matter of looking at a glass of carbonated beverage and really studying it. And from studying pink lemonade and carbonated lemonade, it had just a slight gray outline to it. And then the cake, I always love illustrating cakes and cookies and cupcakes. And the key is to be inconsistent with it. You don't want to start to develop a pattern when you're replicating that kind of texture. And for the ooey gooey berry part of it, the drizzle, the white was again another key element, but it was also a matter of trying to balance whether I wanted the drizzle to look cool or warm. This is definitely a bit more on the warm side, kind of achieving that most tropical Cabana type feel, a nice warm environment. The drizzle almost looks like it could be chocolatey, but I put enough of the magenta and violet hues in it so that it wasn't mistaken as chocolate. It's definitely a fruit type of confection. And again, I think for the finale in every piece of this illustration, the white is usually the end piece for it. It just tops it all off. And it's so lovely. Okay, so with the berries here, it really is worth the effort to go in and try to illustrate all the nooks and crannies, but like do it in a way where you're not studying from a photo. Use your natural instinct. Nature is not perfect and neither are berries. So however you illustrate the berry, as long as you have a general concept of how they grow, you'll be just fine without using photo reference. You drive yourself mad trying to replicate something like that exactly. And that's where the beauty lies in how the artist interprets elements and objects. Like your interpretation is what we want to see. And for this, instead of going in with white, I use like a very bright, like a sun-kissed yellow to do the berry highlights, and it really kept the raspberries nice and warm. If I would have went in with white, it would have gave it a cooler effect, and I didn't want a cooler effect. And then with the blueberries, those are some of my favorite types of objects to illustrate because they kind of have this nice powdery white coating, and they're their own little interesting like subcategory of fruit. Plums also fit into that, where they kind of have that powdery effect to them, and you can achieve that with white or a really light blue. And then the last step, pulling in that gray tone again for the shadows that I pulled from the paper. And there you have the finished product. I call it Pink Cabana Wink. It's very tropical feeling. It's very light. It's very playful. And it's especially very colorful. It invites you to come have a treat and take a break.